Hello everybody and welcome to the high school football preview. I'm Marc Narducci and we'll be bringing you previews of 6 area teams as we did a year ago. Those 6, 5 are from the Colonial Conference: Haddon Township, Haddon Heights, and Haddonfield, along with Collingswood and Audubon, and we'll also be previewing the Paul VI Eagles from the West Jersey Football League Constitution Division. We'll be at the training camps of all the teams, talking to the coaches and players, and as you know, at this time of year, there is great optimism in all the camps. And it all gets underway right after this timeout.
At Lenny, Vermont, and Leonard, we pride ourselves on decades of service to our neighbors. As the leading single-office broker in the area, we offer you the confidence that comes from working with professionals. We put your needs first, and we know the area. Real estate is not a part-time interest to us. It's our profession. We have no part-time associates on our staff because we know that it takes full-time commitment to obtain the best prices for our sellers. Westmont Ace Hardware has been serving the South Jersey area since 1932. The third generation of the founding family still operates our large modern store at 127 Haddon Avenue in Westmont. We offer the convenience of being located right in town on the main street with off-street parking and no hassles driving miles to a shopping center. Westmont Ace Hardware is known for the variety of tools, hardware, and general merchandise that it carries. But we are best known for our knowledgeable salespeople and personal service. If you can describe your hardware need, we can find the exact product to satisfy it. Westmont Ace Hardware, the place to go for all your hardware needs. The Taproom Grill, located on Crystal Lake Avenue in Haddon Township, is the ideal place to gather with friends or family to enjoy great food and beverages in a casual and friendly environment. The Taproom provides a neighborhood atmosphere that attracts patrons of all ages. Whether you choose the indoor tavern or the spacious outdoor deck, you can select from an extensive menu of appetizers, entrees, and specials, all expertly prepared by our chef. The Taproom has 18 flat-screen TVs both indoors and out, and music entertainment 4 days a week. Planning a private celebration or event? The Taproom can host an event from a party of 12 to a group of 700. Come to the Taproom, where we serve great food, beverages, and smiles every day of the week.
Last season, Jack McConnell replaced longtime Collingswood football coach Bob Barikian, and the Panthers went 4-6. It was a Collingswood team that had a lot of inexperience, but also still had a lot of seniors. Now this year, as Collingswood enters the season, it is still a relatively young team. The Panthers aren't expected to contend in the Colonial Conference, but Coach Jack McConnell expects improvement of this Collingswood team. Jack, your second year as the head coach, how much did having that first year under your belt, getting them used to your system, how beneficial is that?
Very much so. We put a lot of things in. We're trying to really change the program and compete with some of the best programs. And we're in the process of still changing the mentality and getting a winning type attitude in here. So it's big to have that first year under our belt.
You were in an interesting situation last year in that you had a lot of seniors, but you were young. They were inexperienced. And you seem to have the same this year. You're not the most experienced team we'll see in the Colonial Conference.
Yeah, I think it's exactly true. We have a lot of our freshmen. Our freshmen had a very successful season last year. So we have a lot of sophomores coming up. And Coach Frank's working with the offensive line. He's doing an excellent job. And we were actually very impressed with our summer workouts and things like that. So we got to learn to win. Got to learn to win the tough games. And I think once we do that, we're going to be rolling. So.
Three-way battle for the quarterback spot. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Well, again, we're young, but we also have one of our seniors this year unfortunately broke his collarbone 2 years ago. So he had a slow recovery coming back, and this is his first year back healthy. So that's in Paul Halley. And we also have Jordan Wallace, who's he started on the basketball team as a freshman. He's got very good skills, and we have Felix Castillo, who did a lot of hard work. Went to quarterback camp at Rutgers, and he's working to try to take the job as well. So it's a nice competition.
And these guys are all pretty good athletes. Can some of them surface at other positions if they're not playing quarterback?
Definitely, all of them can play in other positions. So we're in good shape there.
How about your strength that you see as the strength of this team coming in, Jack?
Well, although we have some of our positions are going to be young, we have a real good senior class. Again, when I talked about buying into a winning program and a winning tradition, trying to do the right things, all the little things right, and the discipline, you start to get a small group that buys in, and then that group starts to grow. Again, we have Farley Gumby, who you're going to see in a few minutes. He's one of our big guys that's bought into it, and he's pulling everybody else along with him. So our senior leadership is going to be very good this year.
As you know, I don't have to tell you, you've been around this conference a long time. It seems to be as balanced and as difficult as ever. The old theory, no easy games, but especially in the Liberty division, there's just a lot of parity and a lot of strength.
Yeah, it was an eye-opener last year with the Haddonfield opening up with Haddonfield last year. So, they took it. They could have been worse. I'll tell you that. And but again, I think we're ready this year. We open up with Woodbury. They have an excellent quarterback, as you know, and safety. He's going to Alabama. So we're looking forward to taking on the challenge. And again, the kids gotta learn how to win those games. So it'll be although another difficult opener. Yeah, it'll really put us to the test early, and I'm looking forward to it. So.
Collingswood will be led by one of the top players in the Colonial Conference, senior wide receiver and linebacker Forley Gunby. Forley, coming off a 4-6 season, how about your expectations coming in this year for the Panthers?
My expectations this year are a bit higher because Coach McConnell, he's really getting it together this year. With his, because last year was his first year, and I feel like he's coming more prepared into this season.
How about yourself now? You're going to be a known commodity. Teams are going to be shading you defensively, especially. How about yourself to pick up? What are you looking for to pick up in your game?
Pick up in my game, I'm trying to get a little bit more speed and reading coverages off the ball, like more so. I know where I'm going before the play starts and where I'm going to be open at.
How about, in your opinion, Forley, the strengths of this team?
The strengths of this team are definitely in the special players, like wide receivers and running backs and all the elite positions.
And speaking of receivers, you look to be a big play guy. Do you relish that role, kind of enjoy that?
Yeah, absolutely.
How about your defense? Give me what you think the strength of this defense is going to be.
Strength of this defense is our new coverage this year. It's a quarters coverage, and Coach McConnell is doing a really good job of showing us how to do it and what the flaws of it can be if we don't do it right, and I think that helps a lot.
And one last thing, no easy games in the Colonial. Talk about competing in this league, where you have the Haddonfields, the Heightses, the West Effords, the Sterlings. You don't get a breather.
Right. It's going to be tough, and we contemplated that, but we're ready to fight through it.
Collingswood is expected to have one of the more explosive wide receiver duos in the Colonial Conference. In addition to Forley Gunby, there is Samir Inge, and the two of them should create havoc among Colonial Conference defenses. Samir, I would think that with you and Forley Gunby, it's got to be one of the top wide receiver tandems in the Colonial Conference. Can you talk about that and how you two can work together?
I mean, we should be good. We run our routes good. Just catch the ball. We'll do good. Yeah,
how about your expectations for this Collingswood team coming off a 4-6 season? How about your expectations?
If we work hard and close out the game, we'll have a good season. All we got to do is work hard and breach the ground. That's it.
Can you give me what you think the strength of this defensive team is? Because you'll be playing a lot there as well.
Maybe our linebackers and our D-backs. That's it. Should be. We work hard and be fast, get to the ball, we'll be good.
Samir, one other thing. You've had a year now under Coach McConnell's system and everything. How's that going to help this team all being together for a year and work out in the off-season and everything?
We got a few people back. We got good chemistry. We should be good. That's it.
This is a Collingswood team that certainly can't be taken lightly, but due to the highly competitive nature of the Colonial Conference, it may be difficult for the Panthers to move up in the standings. One thing is for sure, nobody can overlook the Panthers, as their goal after winning 4 games last year is to get to the 500 level or even above this season. Coming up, a look at the Audubon Green Wave right after this.
The Audubon Football Preview is sponsored by Flowers by Renee. Flowers by Renee proudly serves the Audubon area. We are family-owned and operated and are committed to offering only the finest floral arrangements and gifts, backed by service that is friendly and prompt. Because all of our customers are important, our professional staff is dedicated to making your experience a pleasant one. That is why we always go the extra mile to make your floral gift perfect. Let Flowers by Renee be your first choice for flowers.
Last season, Audubon went 4-6 in the first year under head coach Dominic Cole. The Green Wave progressed as the season went on and ended the year with 2 consecutive victories. Now they come with an optimism for a new season, and Coach Cole hopes that the momentum from last year extends into this season. Coach Cole, you win the last 2 games last year. Can that have a carryover effect coming into this season?
Yeah, absolutely. I believe with the injuries that we sustained last year and the experience that we gained from players that probably weren't prepared to come in earlier in the season, by the end of the season we started to click on all cylinders. So I definitely feel that it's a carryover, and it's going to help us succeed this year. And
also a year under your system and everything, even though you were an assistant before, that's got to help as well.
Yeah, absolutely. There's always tweaks as a head coach is going to make, and I took a long time to assess what I did wrong and to learn from it so I can make my team get better. And once we figured those things out, I feel like this year the sky's the limit for us.
I think as you look at the Colonial Patriot, obviously Woodbury, Paulsboro, it's going to be tough. I would think a realistic goal, and you can correct me, is for Audubon to look and see if they get in the postseason this year.
You said it. I'll let you say it.
Okay.
But our mentality is as cliche as it sounds, one game at a time. But you're right. Woodbury, Paulsboro, they are the upper echelon. They have dynamic players, Division I players all over the field for both squads. We respect them immensely, and that's who we're striving to be. I mean, as a coach, I want to strive to be like Zach Valentine and Glenn Howard, and my players want to. They want to beat those guys. So, we respect everybody, but I'm with you. I feel like we have an opportunity if we stay healthy, and that's the key. If we stay healthy, to compete with those teams.
Coach, I think your offense, you're one of the more dynamic running backs in South Jersey, and Chisholm came on as a sophomore for over 1,000 yards. Talk about him and what he can do to defenses.
Yeah, again, sky's the limit for Khalil. Khalil's driven to be one of the best in not just South Jersey, but in New Jersey. And that's a tall order with someone like Corey Clements over at Glassboro, who had an unbelievable season last year. But that's where he's aiming for. He wants to be known. He wants to be in the same category as him. He makes our offense go. So it really comes down to him and guys like Aiden Borden to lead this team. And I believe they can do it, and I'm really excited to see what they can do.
And you have some really key linemen back, led by the all-conference selection, Sean Hansen.
Yeah, Sean has had an unbelievable weight room this winter and spring, along with Adam Cox, who's also all-conference for us as well. The good thing about our line coming back this year is everybody that's starting this year has had some experience, at least 2 games. So we have five guys that have started a varsity game. So that's important to us. And, ball games are won, offensive, defensive line, and luckily we have some experience there, so that's good.
Few teams in the Colonial Conference will have a running back as dangerous as Audubon Jr. Khalil Chisholm. Last year as a sophomore, he rushed for over 1,000 yards. He is a threat to take it coast to coast on any play. Khalil, last year you burst on the scene, you get 1,000 yards coming up. How about your goals stated for this year coming up now as a junior?
Go for 2,000, and my offensive line is going to get me there. I can't do it by myself, I need help. The big front 5. So without my offensive lineman, it won't be a Khalil Chisholm.
Talk about that offensive line, because you do have some experience up front. Obviously one of the strengths of this team.
Yeah, I'll say all around, guards, tackles, pretty husky guys. Got a couple tackles like 6'2", 6'3", 250, coming hard this year.
How about your offense? What are your expectations for a lot of you guys have coming back? Aiden Borden's back, you're back. Just your expectations for the offense.
Score a lot of points. A lot of points going to be scored this year. Smash mouth football. That's what we like. That's our tempo. Run hard, play hard. And they're not going to throw the ball as much, but if we need to, we are.
Well, you may not mind if you don't throw it as much. You get a few more carries. How about as far as yourself? I know you have high expectations for yourself, even beyond Audubon.
Yeah, of course. I want to play Division I football. It don't matter what college is it. I don't care. Division I. That's where I want to go. Work hard in my classrooms. Grades got to be good. Go to Division I teams, and like I said, without a line, it won't be a Khalil Chisholm.
How about this Audubon team? Your expectations for the Green Wave? You win your last two. You go 4-6 last year. How about the expectations?
I think this year we have a pretty good shot at going to states because we worked hard all off season in the weight room. Guys putting up huge numbers, over 300 plus. Squat, some guys hit like 400, so wow. It's pretty good. We eager and hungry this year. Eager and hungry.
One of the real team leaders for Audubon will be senior Aiden Borden, who will be the quarterback and also patrol the secondary. Borden was a quarterback last year, also played some wide receiver. He's an outstanding athlete, and he brings great leadership to this program. Aiden, this team came on strong at the end of last season. How about your thoughts on this Audubon team as you enter this year, coming off a 4-6 year?
I feel good. I mean, we had a lot of juniors who didn't have a lot of playing experience last year, and I think that strength, like you talked about, coming on at the end of season last year was a part of that. A lot of guys started getting more varsity experience, and just in practice we were faster, and just the team grew, all together, and just that experience and that tempo just helped us on the field, and that's why I think you saw the improvement.
Hey, how about as a quarterback, how do you like handing the ball off to Mr. Chisholm? There's a guy that can go coast to coast anytime.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely a big part of our offense, and it's nice because it can definitely relieve some pressure from our passing game and provide, a steady and consistent ball movement for our offense.
Talk about your defense, maybe your strengths that you see on the defensive side of the ball for Audubon.
I like where our line, offensively and defensively, is looking right now. I mean, we have 5 or 6 guys on both sides of the ball that have experience, can play, know their positions, and can kind of rotate around. So I'm excited to see what they can do this year as a group.
Colonial's as tough as ever. How about your expectations, Colonial, and also South Jersey Group 1?
Well, we want to win as a team, like every team does. But, we want to set the goal high for ourselves. But we just want to, get out there and see how it goes for the rest of the season and try our best.
No doubt Audubon's not going to be picked in the favorites in the Colonial Conference Patriot Division. Those two teams will be Woodbury and Paulsboro. But Audubon feels it can be competitive, and at the very least, the Green Wave expect to improve on last year's 4-6 record and really seriously contend for a postseason playoff berth. When we return, we'll be looking at the Haddonfield Bulldogs, a team looking to defend its title in the Colonial Conference Liberty Division.
The Haddonfield Memorial High School segment is sponsored by Carl's Haddonfield Service. Carl's Haddonfield Service has been a local landmark providing reliable automotive service for over 50 years. At Carl's, we are still providing old-fashioned full service like cleaning your windshield and checking your oil with every fill-up.
Haddonfield is in the middle of one of its most successful runs in school history. The Bulldogs have gone 32-4 over the last 3 years, 3 straight appearances in the South Jersey Group 2 final, a sectional championship in 2010, and the defending Colonial Conference Liberty Division champions last year during an 11-1 season. But few teams were hit as hard by graduation as Haddonfield. But don't say that the Bulldogs are rebuilding. Coach Frank Delano has built a program that expects to be competitive on a yearly basis. Frank, I don't know if any team in the Colonial that's been hit as hard by graduation as Haddonfield, but knowing you, the word rebuilding, I don't think it's in your vocabulary.
No, we don't look to make excuses. Everyone goes through it. It's cycles. We've been blessed to have several consecutive great groups of seniors, and every year it's been, since 2009. Well, how are you gonna replace 2009's team? Well, how are you gonna replace 2010's team? And I don't think that's fair to do, to sit there and compare. I just think it's up to the 2012 team to sit there and establish their own identity, find out who they are. Yeah, what? Technically, on the books we have 2 returning starters back. I get it. But we have a boatload of letter winners who played significant minutes last year for us. Times where the games were still yet undecided. The guys who were going to step up and embrace it. It's just the next guy's turn. yeah, we don't look about, it's not about rebuilding, reloading. That's for people to say, for writers to write about. Yeah. But and it's for us to coach our kids up. A bunch of kids that believe in themselves, believe in the program, and make the best of the 2012 season.
Well, I'll tell you what, I think you have a good start at quarterback, and Mike McLaughlin, a junior who is now getting his chance. We saw him more on defense last year. I think he has a chance to be one of the better quarterbacks in the Colonial.
No doubt, he's gifted. He's definitely gifted. He's got great arm strength. His feet are getting better each day. Yeah. He's getting more and more comfortable in our offense. But he does. He has a top-notch arm. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. He can fling it. And he's getting, again, more and more comfortable. The more he's around his teammates, the more that, the teammates start buying into everybody and start believing into each other. You're right. It's always nice to have a guy who's solid at the trigger position.
Because of all the graduation, you're not going to be picked as the favorite. West Deptford, I think, is the consensus preseason favorite. You probably don't mind that, but the division looks as tough as ever. Heights, I mean, it's just a tough division.
I know exactly what you're saying. And let's be honest, I don't know if when West Deptford has such a run that they've had, I don't know if anyone ever besides West Deptford goes in as the favorite. And I say that with all due respect. They have a tremendous program. And however, honestly, all the coaches, and that's why it's such an exciting time of year. Everybody across the country has the same exact goals. You really do. You're sitting there preseason, it's exciting, whether it's the collegiate level, NFL level, high school level. You just want to be able to have that opportunity, hopefully at the end of the year, to put yourself in a position to compete for a conference championship. Hopefully you're fortunate enough to make the state tournament rather, and it's a privilege. It's an honor. You know what? Yeah. One of the things that we've emphasized with our kids, you don't play games with birth certificates. You never, I don't know when you've ever started doing that. So whether we're young as in terms of sophomore oriented, whether we're young, first time starters and juniors, first time starters as seniors, doesn't make a difference. It's about getting better each and every day, winning each practice, and getting better, and ultimately playing your best football at the end of the year. And that's ultimately our goals.
One last thing. Not like you can ease into the season. I mean, you got to open up with Paulsboro, one of the great programs in South Jersey, ever. The defending Patriot Division champs that are going to make another run at things.
Coach Howard always does a terrific job. They're always well coached. They're always talent. We're going to have to pick up game speed quickly. Yeah. There's no doubt about it. And we don't make excuses. They are extremely well coached, but it's game one. It's the way we always approach it. I don't care who it is, what their past is, what their future is. It's the first game on our schedule. It just happens to be a team that's got a bunch of tradition, have a lot of hardware in their trophy case, and it's, again, you just have to bring your game each week because teams are getting better. Everybody has the same goals in mind right now, and it's what you do on game nights that's going to hopefully, that's ultimately what this thing's about, is getting better. And it doesn't matter who's game 1, who's game 6, when's a good time to get somebody. And all coaches talk about, it's a great time. You play your schedule, you get ready, you prepare your kids, and hopefully at the end good things happen.
Junior Charlie O'Neill saw action on both sides of the line of scrimmage, and he will be a very key two-way lineman this year for Haddonfield. Charlie, not many people back. You have experience on both sides of the ball. How much can that bring to this team this year, and what do you expect to do leadership-wise?
Everyone's really working hard. Obviously, we don't have a lot of kids that started back, but this team has turned into more of a program, not a couple of good teams. So we got a lot of upcoming kids that have been working real hard to get on the field, so I'm not really worried about that. I've been trying to do as much as I can as a leader to help them feel comfortable on the field, because it's a different feeling being on that varsity field, and a lot of kids are a little nervous, but trying to make it easy as possible on them.
How about the fact that this program has built the kind of winning tradition? How important is that you guys can maybe feed off that, even though you don't have a ton of players back who started?
Yeah, it's given us some fuel, because we know what's expected of us, and so it's pushed us even harder.
How about the defense now? What are you looking for from the defensive side this year?
It's just as last year. We had 6 shutouts last year. We're just going to try and beat that goal. Try and get more.
One last thing. How about the feeling of winning that conference title last year? West Deptford had kind of had a stranglehold on things. You guys win the conference. You get to this sectional final for 3rd straight year. What was that like for you?
It was pretty cool for my first varsity experience to get going 11-1. Watching the team before that be very successful. You know, it was expected, and I was just glad to be a part of it.
Haddonfield will look for leadership from senior Michael DeNoia, a starting center last year and one of the few returning starters for the Bulldogs. Michael, you're one of the few returning starters on this team. What are you looking to do and help with these younger guys since you have the experience?
I'm definitely looking to put my leadership on them because I know we have a bunch of talented people coming back that maybe not have played varsity but are definitely talented and they can definitely bring a lot to the team, and I'm just hoping to, I don't know, they can follow after me and my leadership, and then hopefully I'll bring them to where we were last year. And as a team.
Yeah, speaking of that, how much did it help you being a starter last year at center on a team that wins the Colonial, goes to the South Jersey Group 2 final? It must have been a great experience for you.
It was awesome, and all the players around us last year, they were all great players, and they're definitely good people to look up to for me next year because they were all leaders as well, and I just hopefully I can be as good as them as they were last year and lead the way they did.
Hey, I think the guy you're going to be snapping the ball to is going to be an outstanding quarterback.
Yeah.
He's got a tremendous arm. Can you talk about Mike McLaughlin a little bit?
Mike's a wonderful athlete. He's a really good baseball player too. He's got an awesome arm, good legs. So I think he's going to really show a lot of people in South Jersey that he's a legit quarterback.
Hey, one last thing. You guys probably won't be picked as highly as you have in the past, but I know the coach doesn't talk about rebuilding. Do you almost like that maybe other people will be favored and maybe you can come up on them?
Yeah, it's definitely good being under the radar because no one's coming after us, but I know that we still think people are coming after us because we're a top program, and even though we're returning starters, we got a lot of talent, and we know that we can beat anyone that we go against.
There's no question that West Deptford will be the favorite going into this season in the Colonial Conference Liberty Division, and Haddon Heights will make a strong run. Haddonfield, well, some expect the Bulldogs to fall off simply because they've lost so many key players, but don't count on it. This is one of the great programs in South Jersey with one of the top coaches, and Haddonfield expects to be competitive once again in a banner season in the Colonial Conference.
Lenny, Vermont, and Leonard Realtors are known for our innovations in real estate sales. Now we're adding to the technologies available to sellers and buyers by making it easier to get information about a home when a potential buyer sees our real estate sign. At the top of these signs is a text code that can be used in conjunction with a buyer's mobile phone to bring up a complete description of the property, and with a smartphone, photographs, floor plans, and maps as well. Simply enter the text code from the sign into your phone to retrieve this information, and for even more details, press the link to contact the listing agent. Lenny, Vermont, and Leonard Realtors, for innovations in real estate sales. Westmont Ace Hardware has been serving the South Jersey area since 1932. The third generation of the founding family still operates our large modern store at 127 Haddon Avenue in Westmont. We offer the convenience of being located right in town on the main street with off-street parking and no hassles driving miles to a shopping center. Westmont Ace Hardware is known for the variety of tools, hardware, and general merchandise that it carries. But we are best known for our knowledgeable salespeople and personal service. If you can describe your hardware need, we can find the exact product to satisfy it. Westmont Ace Hardware, the place to go for all your hardware needs. The Taproom Grill, located on Crystal Lake Avenue in Haddon Township, is the ideal place to gather with friends or family to enjoy great food and beverages in a casual and friendly environment. The Taproom provides a neighborhood atmosphere that attracts patrons of all ages. Whether you choose the indoor tavern or the spacious outdoor deck, you can select from an extensive menu of appetizers, entrees, and specials, all expertly prepared by our chef. The Taproom has 18 flat-screen TVs both indoors and out, and music entertainment 4 days a week. Planning a private celebration or event, the Taproom can host an event from a party of 12 to a group of 700. Come to the Taproom, where we serve great food, beverages, and smiles every day of the week.
There is optimism around the Haddon Heights program, and for very good reason. The Garnets are coming off an 8-3 season under Coach Ralph Shivo in his first season at Haddon Heights. They made the playoffs for the 5th consecutive season, and the Garnets return a veteran squad, one very capable of playing among the elite in the Colonial Conference Liberty Division. So one can see why in year number 2, Coach Ralph Shivo sees a lot of positives with this Garnets team. Ralph, year 2 here with the Garnets coming off an 8-3 season, and there's a lot to be optimistic about in this second season here with the Garnets.
Well, sure there is. Obviously, some success last year did a lot for us in the off season. Some more players came out. some good returning guys coming back, and we're looking to keep it rolling.
I think you have a real potentially explosive player at quarterback. Dante Pinckney, who was a receiver before, but is threw some passes for you in certain situations. I think he could be an explosive guy there.
Oh, absolutely. I agree. You're right. We had some, he played the inside receiver for us, a slot receiver. We had some trick plays with him where he was throwing the ball, and he's just a great athlete, made some big catches. But he practiced a lot at quarterback last year during the week, just in case Nick got hurt. But, he's an explosive player, and we got some things set up for him this year where hopefully he'll, be explosive.
Key for any team's always up front. In Alex Thompson, you have one of the premier linemen in South Jersey. Talk about what you have up front on both sides of the ball.
We definitely have some size, obviously starting with Alex. But we have some other returning guys, and Sean Sack and Jeff Breyer, Spencer Goodman, Kevin Hall. We got some size guys who saw some key time last year, and that'll help us out this year.
You have a guy who's one of the best athletes in South Jersey, and Dominique Irons, a great track performer, played a lot in the secondary last year. You're looking for him also to help on that offensive side of the ball.
Absolutely. He'll be a two-way player for us. He'll be one of the outside receivers for us. He's obviously got some offers for track. I think he has an offer right now on the table from Kentucky and possibly LSU for his triple jump skills, which I think he was his #1 2 years ago. I don't know how he finished up this spring. But he'll play some offense, he'll play some defense, and he'll be a player for us.
Ralph, you had 8 wins last year. You know how tough the Colonial is. I think you come into this season where West Deptford's the favorite. How about where you think you guys fit in there?
I think we got as good a chance as anybody. I mean, it is a tough conference. West Deptford, Haddonfield, obviously our Thanksgiving Day game. Sterling's much improved. Yeah. Lindenwold's always got some athletes. It'll be a tough conference, but, we got to win the games we got to play.
I know the school is proud of the fact they've been in the postseason 5 consecutive years. That to me is a given, right? A goal to get back there. That's one of the goals this year.
Oh, absolutely. That's goal number 1. Get to the playoffs, and from there, it's you never know what happens.
One of the switches in offense is at quarterback this year, where Dante Pinckney, who was a wide receiver last year, takes over under center. He is an explosive player and will add a lot to this offense. Dante, you've been at quarterback before, but last year primarily at receiver, so talk about that adjustment.
It's pretty much just, getting used to certain things, like at the high school level, because I played a lot of quarterback in the little leagues and everything, but it's just a little bit different, like speeds of people and everything, and getting used to just passing the ball to certain people on my team and everything, but it's pretty good. I like it.
Hey, you got to throw 6 passes last year. You completed all 6 for 2 touchdowns, so that had to make you feel pretty good about things.
Yeah, it made me feel pretty good. I'm prepared right now. I feel pretty good about this.
Hey, I think the one thing where you really are troublesome to defenses is not only can you throw the ball, but your running ability. I'm assuming you want to take advantage of that as well.
Yeah. I feel pretty good about that right now. I feel like we're in a good place right now this year.
I talked to Coach Shivo about this, but your O-line is probably considered one of the better ones in the Colonial Conference. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, our offensive line has a lot of size this year. We're a lot bigger than last year, but we can always get better.
Would you describe this offense as a big play offense? You seem to have a lot of guys that can, take it coast to coast.
Yeah, we always have room to get better, but I consider us as a pretty good big play offense.
Hey, how about your defense? Give me what you think the strengths are going to be on this Haddon Heights defense.
We have our defensive end coming back, Alex Thompson. He's really good, and we have a lot of athletes coming back in the secondary. So I think we'll be good. Kenny Lewis is really good, so I think we'll be pretty good with our defense this year.
Hey, one last thing. This program has been in the playoffs every year you've been here. I'm assuming that's a major goal. You don't want to see that streak stop.
Yeah, we'll be in there this year. We'll be in the playoffs this year, guaranteed.
The Garnets have one of the best two-way linemen in all of South Jersey in senior Alex Thompson. Alex, you obviously have the reputation as one of the top linemen in South Jersey. Does that put a little more pressure on you?
Not really. I mean, I was expecting it. I wasn't really I'm not worried going into the season and stuff. I'm pretty chill. So.
Talk about this Haddon Heights team. You're coming off an 8-3 season. You have a lot of veterans back. How about your expectations?
I have high expectations. I mean, we're light, as you can see. We don't have as much people as last year, but I feel as though we have the skill. We have more skill than last year, so I think we'll be fine.
Speaking of skill, you have Dante Pinkney going to quarterback. He looks like a guy that can cause a lot of trouble for defenses.
Definitely. He has the running ability and passing as well, so he has a great line block for him. So
Of course, you would know a little bit about that. Talk about the defense. What you think the strength of this Haddon Heights defense can be?
I would say the defensive line, because we have like bigger people up there right now, and it's me and another defensive tackle returning. So I think we're pretty fine up front, and our backs, like corners and stuff, I think they're pretty good too. So we should be good on defense.
Looks like, Alex, that the Colonial Conference is going to be as tough as ever. Can you talk a little bit about the difficulty competing in this conference and the quality of competition?
You just have to stay focused. Like, you can't like take your mind off of anything. Stay focused in the season. No playing around in the classroom. Just stay focused, and I think we'll do fine in the season. I'm not really worried.
Despite entering the season with optimism, Haddon Heights won't come in as a favorite in the Colonial Conference Liberty Division. That will go to West Deptford, a team that is very experienced and coming off winning the South Jersey Group 2 title. But Haddon Heights could be the main challenger to the Eagles, and there's no doubt about it that earning a 6th consecutive playoff berth is a very realistic goal. Up next, a look at the Haddon Township Hawks, a team that went 2-8 last year and is looking for improvement.
The Haddon Township portion of the preview show is brought to you by Express It.
Print it, copy it, ship it at Express It. We can print from your computer files or provide creative services, graphics, and typesetting, along with collating, binding, and laminating. So let us help you with your reports, brochures, yearbooks, newsletters, pamphlets, programs, business cards, forms, stationery, and more. And with 7 copy machines on site, we get it done fast. We carry shipping supplies and can provide packing service for you. We are an authorized shipper for both FedEx and UPS. We also provide notary service, custom imprinted products such as hats, cups, and pens, and fax service. Print it, copy it, ship it at Express It.
Here at Haddon Township, there is optimism following last year's 2-8 season. That was the first season under Coach Dave Dale, and the Hawks played some competitive games. Now with an experienced group and a number of skill position players, one can see why Coach Dale is optimistic that improvement could be on the way. Dave, your second year as the head coach here, that's got to help, having a whole year through, going through it and everything. Could you talk about that and more familiarity?
Absolutely. It helps that we know our kids at this point in time. We know what they're capable of, where they're best suited to play. Plus, we've got a year of the system under the belt, and we put a good year in on the off season. Kids really did a lot of work, and we hope to see the rewards of it this year.
I think when you talk about experience, you have experience at the skill position, starting with your quarterback.
Absolutely. Jake Campbell, 3-year starter. We're looking for him to lead us this year. He had a good summer. And, yeah, our skill positions are our strong positions. There's no question.
And also, I think you have one of the better running backs around in Nick Marino.
Well, Nick's actually a receiver. We had Casey Boyle back there. Dan Clemente's coming back out. Connor Wade may move back there for a while. So, yeah, we do have some good skill people.
Talk about the defense. You mentioned Connor Wade, all-conference performer last year. A guy had 120 tackles.
Absolutely. Connor's got great instincts, great work ethic. He runs our defense, there's no question. And we look for him to continue what he did last year and then improve on it.
Dave, you're competing in the Colonial Conference Patriot Division. I don't think people understand how tough this division is. I mean, Woodbury coming back pretty loaded. We know what Paulsboro is. Audubon vastly improved. Once again, looks like a tough division.
There's no question. In the Colonial Conference, you don't have a week off. Every team's prepared. Every team's well coached, and they're ready to go. I mean, Woodbury with the Everett kid going to Alabama, he's a force to be reckoned with. There's no question.
How about your goals for this year now, in year 2 of the program? You set any numbers goals or just looking for improvement?
You know, I don't think it's realistic to set numbers goals. You never know what's going to happen. We do want improvement. Our kids, like everybody else, you know, they want to win the conference and they want to make the playoffs. So, but for us to say no, I want 4 wins, 5 wins, 8 wins, whatever, I don't think that's realistic.
Haddon Township should have one of the stronger defenses in the Colonial Conference Patriot Division, led by linebacker Connor Wade, who last year had 120 tackles. Connor, this is a team, including yourself, that has a lot of experience coming back. Just tell me what you think about the Hawks coming up this year.
Well, we're definitely returning a lot of starters, so we're excited about that. And even the positions where we didn't improve starters, where we actually improved in a lot of positions. We all have gotten faster, stronger. We know the system better, and we're ready to go at it this year.
You had 120 tackles last year. I think teams are going to really be trying to game plan to get to stay away from you. Talk about your defense. It looks like a real strength this year.
Yeah, our defense definitely is returning a lot of people also, and we're excited about that. We're going to stop the run, and we got good skill players in the secondary, so we're excited about it.
Year 2, you have a year under the system of Coach Dale. How much is that going to help all you guys?
It's going to help a lot. I mean, last year, this first 2 weeks was strict, it was just learning. It really hasn't improving as much as the potential improvement we can do this year, because we know a lot of people are in there in meetings at 7:30 and we're getting it all down, and then we come out here and we already know what we're doing, so it's going to help a lot.
How about the summer working out? I know you guys work out together and all that. That helps bond the team. How did that go, the summer workout?
It was better than ever. We came in here at 8. We were here from 8 to 10, and we worked as hard as we could for 2 hours straight. We were Monday through Thursday, and we had 25 to 30 kids some days, so it was consistent. It was consistently good.
So I guess the key message for Haddon Township: optimism this year for the Hawks.
What's up?
Optimism this year for the team.
Yeah, absolutely. We're definitely trying to make playoffs this year and go at it, and that's our goal. So we're not going to do anything to let us stop that.
The Hawks offense will truly benefit from the experience of quarterback Jake Campbell, who is a third-year varsity performer. Jake, this is your third year as a varsity performer. Can you talk a little bit about that and how much that really you think that'll help you in the huddle and your experience?
Well, it definitely helped me a lot. Experience. I know the defenses, how to read defenses, how the pace of the game, and the offense. Definitely know about the offense, so it'll be good.
Seems like you have a few weapons. Talk about your offense and what you're expecting this year.
Oh, we definitely have a lot of athletes returning. They can catch the ball, run the ball, so we'll be fine.
What about this Haddon Township team? Year 2 under Coach Dale. You've had a whole year in his system. How much will that help, and how about your expectations for this season?
Well, second year, we know the coaching staff. We know them well, so we can work with them, and we're definitely trying to make playoffs this year. That's our goal.
While Haddon Township is expected to be improved, things can be tough in the Colonial Conference Patriot Division, where Woodbury is a favorite, Paulsboro is a defending champion, and Audubon appears vastly improved. But one thing is for sure, regardless of the win total, this is a Haddon Township team that has a lot of experience, a lot of confidence, and is expected to move up in the standings.
The Paul VI segment of the preview is brought to you by Bruno's Italian Restaurant. Bruno's Italian Restaurant is located on Hopkins Road in Haddon Township between Cuthbert Road and Crystal Lake Avenue, about a block from Paul VI High School. Bruno's offers everything from award-winning pizza to pasta to seafood to charbroiled steaks and a variety of salads, soups, and appetizers. For eat-in, fine dining, or quick takeout, it's Bruno's on Hopkins Road.
A year ago at this time, the expectations were extremely high for Paul VI. The Eagles were coming off 4 consecutive division championship teams and expected to be the team to beat in the West Jersey Football League Constitution Division. But a rash of injuries derailed things for the Eagles, and they finished with a 2-8 record. Now this year, they're not listed among the contenders, and that's probably okay with Coach John Doherty. John, what a difference a year makes. Last year, the expectations high, then all the injuries and everything. You guys are not picked among the favorites. You probably don't mind that, right?
Yeah, no, we don't mind that. We've had a great couple of years, 4 conference championships. Last year was a disappointment, but we're over that. It's time to move on. Part of football. We've got a great young group, and we like being the underdog. It's a great place to be in.
Yeah, and I don't have to tell you, your division might be the toughest in South Jersey.
Yeah, no, that's what we love to hear, man. When you look at all the teams in our conference, we got some great teams, and we're proud to be in it.
Talk about your offense last year. Your quarterback got some experience around mid-season. Talk about the offense and what your expectations are.
Unfortunately, last year we did have a lot of injuries, and our starting quarterback Chase White got hurt, midway through the season. But it also gave us the opportunity to get our other young kid in Eric Vignola, who's a sophomore, did a real nice job. So he's doing a great job this year, in a battle with our other young kid, Sterling Sheffield, the quarterback spot. So, offensively last year, we graduated a lot from 2 years ago. Now we feel like this year we're kind of back to where we should be. We have a new offensive coordinator, Chris Crowley from Woodrow Wilson, and he's doing a phenomenal job, and we're lucky to have him. So we expect big things this year.
How about on the defensive side of the ball? You have a real difference maker in Greg Peace.
Yeah. We Greg's in the middle of our defense, and we have a lot of young kids. And fortunately, last year we actually despite a rough year, we actually had a lot of young kids, sophomores and juniors, and a couple freshmen playing defense. So it's given us a good start this year to get some great experience on the field. So I think our defense will be a lot better this year.
John, as far as the tough competition and what you guys went through last year, do you think it helped some of these young guys? Maybe some of the young guys got more experience than you originally thought because of all the injuries?
Yeah, absolutely. You could see in practice from early on this year, for any young kid to come in and play varsity, it's more about the game speed and being under the lights and getting nervous. So hopefully we got that out of the way. And so far, we'll know soon, but it seems like, that experience has been a big help to them. They know what to expect, that they know how hard they got to work, and so far, things are looking good.
Evan, you got the start last year as a sophomore, and you had a lot of young players get playing time. How much will that help this team coming into this season?
I would say a lot. We all have more experience now. We're a young team still, but it's going to help us a lot knowing people that know what it's like to play.
How about last year? It was a tough year with the injuries and everything. What's the feeling coming into this season?
We're all just really excited. I mean, like we said, we had injuries bad with our running backs, but otherwise I'm excited to play.
How about the defense? That obviously seems where there's a lot of experience. Talk about the strength of this defense.
I'm mainly a defensive guy. I love defense. Coach Doe does a great job out there. We have a lot of more experience on defense than we do on offense. Another thing I'm just really excited about, finally getting to play for Coach Doe.
And you might see some time on offense as well. Is it one of these things where maybe the defense a little bit ahead early in the season might have to carry the load early on until the offense gets some experience?
I don't think so. I trust them a lot. They have a lot of talent. They're not as experienced, but they have a ton of talent. Our quarterbacks are looking good. Receivers are looking great too. And our line's working hard, so I'm excited.
Hey, one last thing. What's it like playing in this division where you have the heavyweights of South Jersey, the Timber Creeks, the Camden Catholics, the Morristowns?
Yeah.
Where's no easy games in this division?
I enjoy it. It makes us come out and work harder every week. It's a lot of competition, so it's good.
Alan, I know last year was disappointing with the 2 wins and all. How much is that a motivating factor for this season coming up?
This year, we want to make a comeback, show people that we can be big again.
Talk about the defense. You have a lot of experience coming back, led by you, but it seems to be a very stingy defense. Has the potential to be.
Yeah, but I believe in the team. We can work together. Not last year we were a little me, but this year we're trying to come together as a whole, and make it happen.
You have to face the offense in practice all the time. Give us your analysis of the O for Paul 6.
They're tough, very dynamic. You got to stay on your feet, stay on your toes, be aware. So you got to look out for them.
Hey, one last thing. Have you guys set any goals this season? You're playing in one of the toughest divisions in South Jersey. Have you set any goals for the team?
Just win. Be tough, be strong, come out, get championship, go all the way. Never want to stop.
Unlike a year ago, Paul 6 is not near the contenders, at least in the preseason picks. In the Constitution Division, it's one of the best in South Jersey, where Timber Creek and Camden Catholic will be the favorites. Morristown, an extremely tough team. So the expectations have lessened a little bit for Paul 6, but the Eagles are hoping after a 2-8 campaign to get back toward near that 500 mark or even above it. So that wraps it up for the high school football preview. In looking back, Haddonfield and Haddon Heights will be very competitive in the Colonial Conference Liberty Division. Collingswood and Audubon, after both getting 4 wins last year, look to get to that 500 level. Haddon Township and Paul 6 both look for improvement after 2-8 seasons. We hope you've enjoyed this show and hope you enjoy what should be an outstanding 2012 high school football season. For everybody associated with the high school football preview show, this is Marc Narducci saying thanks for watching and have a good evening, everybody.
Major funding for this program was provided by Lenny Vermont and Leonard Realtors, Westmont Ace Hardware, and the Tap Room on Crystal Lake Avenue. Additional funding was supplied by Flowers by Renee, Audubon, Carl's Haddonfield Service, Express It, and Bruno's Italian Restaurant. This was a production of Sponsor It Media.